Hello and welcome everybody. This is the Lunar and Lim channel and I am Lunar. And today I'm going to do a bit of a progress update on the Project Anshan. Now, I apologize in advance, there hasn't been a video recently. I've been really poorly with a lung infection, but we are back and ready to continue the project. So updates today. As you can see, I've briefly assembled the ship. It's mostly glued together on the hull. All the parts I haven't glued on yet. I'm still trying to figure out a few things with the spacing of the parts, etc. But if we just go down, you can just see the scale of this ship and the level of detail as well. Yeah, all of these are resin printed, all ready for the ship. All the tiny little details. You know, you've got the rudders here. I mean, half of this, I don't even know what it is or what it's for. We need to work it out as we go along. But like the level of detail on some of these parts as well. Now, unfortunately, a lot of this is going to be like drilled with holes. I mean, this is the missile silos. That's going to be air. You'll see why in a bit. We've got a front gun that I believe moves. You know, you've got a top mast. I've taped it all together just so you guys can see. You know, you've got a gun at the back. But let's try and do a bit of a teardown. So you guys can see. Now, we have had a huge disaster. The mother of all problems. The motherboard that's supposed to go into this has died. Basically, it was being used in my current PC, the HMS Illustrious, and the VRM chip caused a power shortage across the board and has killed it. So currently in the RMA stage of trying to get that sorted, repaired and fixed. If that isn't fixed, then we'll have to be using a different motherboard. We were currently projected to use the B850i ASRock Lightning Wi-Fi board. That might have to change to a Gigabyte Aorus Pro Ice, which is actually a bit of an upgrade, so not necessarily the end of the world. But the dimensions are slightly different, and we may have a bit of trouble fitting it into the ship. But we'll sort that out when we get there. For now, we'll do a bit of a teardown so you guys can see roughly where parts are going to go. Now, let me try and angle this down. So the front of the ship, the proportions are a little bit different to the model I projected on my computer for you guys in the last video. So we actually can't have the graphics card all the way up here. So if we take these silos off, and we'll take the gun off, there's going to be a fan mounted here underneath the silos. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out some airflow, lots of airflow into this. We might actually have these all open so we can pull air in from that. And we're going to direct the air into the passageway beneath here. We'll take off the tape for a bit, lift this up, and there you can see the edges of the graphics card. Now, the graphics card will be up. Okay, it's not going to be resting down. I will custom 3D print a part to keep it up, and that's going to allow airflow to direct under it. We'll probably make a shroud for this to push the air under the graphics card. We can take off this entire top piece. We'll take this bit off for now as one, but this piece I've glued together. You can see the graphics card, but this piece is going to be where the power supply unit is held. Now we're using a 850 watt Cooler Master Gold SFX. You can see I've tried to melt down the edges to fit it in. It does fit in quite nicely. We'll cut some holes in here to project some air. If it doesn't end up doing that, this will be an outtake for the graphics card. But again, there'll be plenty of space for air to be projected out of here. The motherboard has had to move back slightly. If we lift off this part here, inside here is maybe where the power supply unit's going to end up, with the motherboard being in this chamber here. We don't really need a cooling. Oh, I can't actually get this one off. No. So this is like the temporary motherboard I've 3D printed just to pretend like there's a motherboard in here. And I want that to be flush against this part here. But we can always move it sideways if we need to fit in the power supply unit here. This allows the cooler, which is IQ Link Corsair H150i, I believe. That will sit in here, and that should mean that the next section, which we will lift off here, again, not everything's popped down yet. We'll put little like handles on for some of them. When this is glued down, this will fit and pull it off. You can see it's very dusty because it was used in my last PC, but this will be where the 360mm rad goes. It's going to be over slightly about here, okay, and this will be flush with the deck, probably up here with the fans underneath it. This nicely fits. I'll show you the cutout I've done for it. Well, I don't know how I'm going to show the cutout very well, but I'll do my best. So if I try and show it, we've now got a massive airflow gap there, and that will pull fan air in, and then that will project it out of here. Okay, the air will be flying out here. We have a secret project plan for this. We're not there yet. When this is on, we're going to have to cut out a large piece of airflow here and here. So we're going to open up these garage doors. Now, the air in this one is going to be vented through here. It's not going to have a lot of room to vent, but we're going to CNC out this bit and these bits to try and allow some airflow. But this is going to be a solid chamber. I don't see any other way of doing it. I don't want too many holes in here, and that's part of the project problem we've had with this project. If we put too many holes in, the ship starts to deteriorate in pattern. You know, once this is on here, and then we have the missiles, while we can add holes in there, we're not going to have anywhere to pull. We're not going to have enough space to put a fan underneath to pull air in. There's going to be a negative outflow at that point, which is why I'm tempted to put the power supply unit in this one with the air flowing out of here with a fan pulling air. Where's my top piece? All the way over here with the fans blowing, or like a little like break here. So we're going to put like a wall, but allow the cables to go through to then allow this air from the graphics card to be pulled up and vented out here. So what we'll be doing is we'll effectively be using these vents with a fan basically strapped on top, pulling it out with this air pushing air under. We will also be adding, and I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but we'll be adding like airflow underneath to try and pull air in. Again, it's going to ruin the build slightly. We are building a computer at the end of the day, and it needs airflow. And that's the only way I think I'm going to be able to push air in enough. So by having some airflow holes underneath, but also this fan pulling air under with a shroud, should allow the graphics card to be nice and cold, with a fan pulling air up, so like that up there, hook it on, pulling air up and through the top piece, should then allow everything to work nice and cold, especially as a 360mm rad will be getting, you know, loads and loads of airflow. If I very, very carefully tip the ship over a little bit underneath, you can kind of see, that's the graphics card gone. You can see, you know, these are already there for the remote control. I've cut this out. Now this will be smoothed up in final painting and stuff. We're not there yet. Obviously, we're still making adjustments. This has all been cut out. Again, it'll all be smoothed out. I'm also going to be putting some sealant around it just to make sure it's all nice and smooth. We don't want to be cutting ourselves on it when we're moving parts in and out. But that's going to allow plenty of air to come in. I mean, I've already checked it. It works very well. But we're using IQ Link fans, so there's less cables. But as you can see, fits basically perfectly there. And we should be able to fit two in here. If we slide this one along, unfortunately, because it's laying down, I can't quite get it under. But they do fit. I have tested it. So very, very excited. Let me bring the computer case back over. Yeah, that's the graphics card gone for a Burton. We'll just sort that one out. But we are going to be using a Well, this absolute beast of a graphics card. It is a RX 7900 GRE graphics card from Gigabit. Solid piece of kit. We'll run everything at 1440 with absolute precision and high FPS, and we'll really finish off this build with the power it deserves. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this little rundown. I'm sorry there hasn't been a video for a while. Very excited to continue working on this. As you can see, I've been working on it in the background. The disaster of the motherboard has put us back behind schedule. I don't know how we're going to fix that yet. I've spoken to ASRock. They agree that the board has died. The next steps is for them to test it, and then we'll go from there. Whether it will be a new board, an updated board, or whether it will be a refund to get a new board. And if that does happen, then we'll probably go for a Gigabit Aorus Pro Ice, the X870, I believe it is. But whatever happens, we're going to have to stick with Mini ITX. But I cannot wait for this build. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing, and there's going to be one of a kind. So stick with us, stick with the channel, continue with the progress. You guys are going to see something legendary. Now, that's goodbye from Lunar. See ya.